Why? What is the implication of this? For a second there, I was thinking like maybe me killing all the crabs. Ugh. Oh, is that what I have to do this time? Probably. That was loud. I was thinking for a second there like maybe killing all the crabs extinguished life on this place. And now there's no life. But how would that extinguish the entire ocean? It's Seath's Archives. We're now taking part in my favorite Dark Souls experience, which is to roll through all of the destructible objects and eliminate them. One by one. This is a strange chapter. If this is the core puzzle mechanic in particular, it feels strange because instead of the usual Myst mechanical puzzles, it's like Proteus? Like this reminds me of my playthrough of Proteus when I went out of my way to actually solve Proteus and like trigger every secret scene and so on. Because it's a game where all you can do is, for the most part, is just walk around. But by walking around, you could like scare certain animals around, or you could like interact with certain weird glyphs and whatnot by just kind of looking at them. And despite Proteus seeming to not have necessarily like gameplay mechanics and whatnot, you could do a sequence of events and special rare occurrences and whatnot that you did have direct control over. It wasn't like random. So it kind of defied people's expectations in that way, but only if they found it. And this is reminding me of that. That kind of strange interaction. There's still one over there. So yeah, I do need to destroy the crystals. Is it on the island? Oh, I can reach the island. Oh, okay. Forced third person. Okay, so there's a conjoining path. So there must be a crystal around here. Hey there. Why not? Oh, the door's gone. There must be some way to go back to where I was before then, since the door was there. And it was clearly something that was going to open eventually. But not now. The last time all I did was leave and come back. So I'm guessing that's all I do again. I think that just whenever that thing doesn't sense anything, it changes time. And so if I destroy or get rid of all the things that it's sensing, and I'm the last one, then if I leave, then it does its purpose, I guess. And then it shows up whenever. Then when I come back to it, it's now at a time that it has now received. It has now arrived on a time where it's back to sensing something, I guess. Which, judging by what I just did to those crystals, I think that means I did canonically kill all of those crabs, I guess. Or they just fall so far away that they're out of its range somehow. It doesn't, I guess maybe we didn't kill it. Maybe it can only sense things that are on its horseshoe. So it has to be physically on the horseshoe shape. And if it's not on the horseshoe shape, then maybe it just doesn't count. What the hell? Okay, now we're in space. How? Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. That's a fair comparison, by the way. A lot of the things I compare Myst and a lot of games too, I'm of course comparing them to things that are newer than them, which some people take issue with, but that's not really the point. Isn't when I compare something to something that's newer than it isn't to be like, you ripped that off, which would be an obvious contradiction if thing is old is newer, and then like Myst is, if the game I'm playing is older and whatnot, then it's like that's obviously not a fitting comparison. Can I fall? But in this case, Halo's actually older than this game. It's a little weird to think about it, but Halo is now 17 years old. Haha. Oh no, it warped me all the way out. I didn't think about that. Guess I want to go here. My God. I'm sorry, I didn't really process the number 17 until I was already saying it. And so like now I'm processing it. I'm like, I don't think I'm ready for Halo to be 17 years old. It still plays really well. That's something that's unique to like Doom and Halo and stuff like that, and like very few shooters, is that there's a specific handful of classic shooters at this point that have aged shockingly well and are super playable despite everything. And Halo's definitely one of them. Might do a series on that series again sometime. I mean, I already played through like Halo 1, 2, and 3, and maybe... I don't remember if I did ODST with them or not, but Andrew and I co-opted through like 3 of them on like Heroic or Legendary. I do prefer co-op. Which when they made 5 not even have split screen co-op, I just didn't even buy it. I'm like, alright, well, you lost me. Yeah, let's just get rid of this feature we've already had for like the last 6 games. Alright, so there's the floating island. We're now in space somehow, although space seems to mean different things for Myst, because the traveler guy or whatever, the guy from the first 4 games, I think, he jumps into the abyss, and it's called the Starry Expanse, I think, and he just is fine somehow. I'm not sure how he's fine, but he is. Seems like it'd be a bad time. We jump into the Starry Expanse also, but we have a Relto book, so it's kind of obvious how we survive. Hey, you can see it slowly spinning. How is there an orbital disk around almost nothing, though? Especially with how small it is. We don't have it. Something this small wouldn't have a gravitational pull unless that thing's just super magic, which it probably is, because nothing about this makes sense. I mean, that's clearly the island that has the building on it, even though it's disconnected now and we're in space. It's still hovering right in the same spot. Not even spinning it. It's not even spinning in place. It's perfectly stationary. Like, this is clearly not space. This is some kind of weird arcane dimension nonsense thing. Like, I think of like the, in Diablo 2, the Arcane Sanctuary. That chapter is like this. Or it's just like, this is impossible. And technically the background is all stars, but nothing about the behavior of this location resembles space. So it must be some kind of different magical or otherwise incomprehensible and mystical variation. Is my goal just to leave? Just look at it and be like, cool, and then leave? Alright. It went back. So all the crabs are still gone. That gets rid of my other idea. I thought that it was somehow shooting forward in time until it reaches a point where it senses whatever the hell counts as being on its register, or maybe more than one of that thing, and then it freezes. And then it won't move forward in time again until you clear that up somehow. And yet, here we are. Once again here. I don't know, I guess I'll check to see if that door is open or something. So there was this place, there was a rocky, misty, shadowy, or cloudy one that had crystal trees on it, like Seath's Archives. This is the Crab Beach one. And then there was also a galaxy one, an Arcane Sanctuary, if you will. How did I do so badly? What? Oh, damn it. I think I pressed a button wrong. I probably wasn't holding shift or spacebar correctly or something. It's a weird quirk where if you kind of like do mixed inputs a little bit, some of the inputs will override each other, and they won't, and even if you're holding down the key, it won't work unless you let go of it and start holding it again from scratch. It's happened a few times, in particular trying to figure out how to swim. I'm doing the full sprinting swim now. Like, that much is happening. This feels really weird. It's because it feels like I'm explicitly swimming against an invisible wall. And the idea of having to swim against an invisible wall in order to navigate an area just feels like a really weird design. I don't know what to feel about that. Was that always there? A blockage? Let me in. I can almost see this being like the timeline. You were here. Beach mode. Then the ocean dried up, so you were in goose cloud mode, and then the world explodes and you physically leave the location, which is the vertical change, and you enter space mode. Like this is the progression through time or something. I don't know. Look deep into whole. Question purpose of life. Do thing and stuff. I always feel like I should be able to climb this, but I can't. Gotta go all the way around. You know what? Here's something I want to test. I clicked on the weird cloth thing that the point of this cloth is to teleport to you to a specific spot. I'm curious to see if that's a mechanic for this. I clicked on it when I was in the second age, or the second version of that place. I clicked on it when it was in cloud mode. So if I click on this, which time does it take me to? That's interesting. That's interesting. I clicked on the cloth over here, over there, when I was in this chapter, but I clicked on a cloth on this island when I was in the cloud chapter. And then you get to the space chapter, and that island still exists, but it's isolated. There's no longer a bridge connecting it. That's probably what I need to do then, huh? Because looking here, there's no reason for me to teleport there, because I can just swim there. The takeaway seems to be that when I use one of those cloths, it will then teleport me in the future to that cloth's location at the time that I pressed it. Even if when I arrive there is not a cloth there. My save point is somehow separate from the actual position of the current cloth. It doesn't physically track it down. That might be the same cloth moving locations over time. I don't know. So if we're continuing the pattern, this should now take me to the version of the age with the clouds, which I believe is where I pressed the cloth before. Yeah. So here's cloud mode. It's not a very happy chapter. This is where you get told by the rock biters that the childlike princess that has no name needs a name, or the nothing will continue to devour the world. I pressed the cloth over there, I think. Then Atreyu gets swallowed by the bog. So I think my solution is to go to the space version and then use the cloth to teleport to that spot. So space, yep. The Arcane Sanctuary. Alright, well, we're gonna hop off into the abyss now. Ooh, there's a bunch of stuff down there. Just enough depth and verticality to make me nervous. Now that we've set it to that version, you will hopefully still teleport me to that island like you did before, but in this chapter. Hey. Huh. Okay. Is that all that's here? Yeah, that's it. I think I understand, though. Because we were already successfully teleporting to the island. Now I think we're going to be teleporting to the island, but a few feet away from before. Which probably means we're going to be teleporting to the island inside the building. So that's how we get inside the building, not opening the door, but teleporting inside it. Right now I'm just running around the clock in order to change time. There's a clear symbol there. I was wondering why we always why we spawned there, but we have a linking book there. It just felt like a oh god damn it. That was a mistake. I thought that was weird. Although this game does have a reoccurring thing where linking books don't take you to the copy of said linking book and stuff like that, which is normal, I believe, for the Myst franchise. It just always will feel weird to me when I don't show up at coming out of a linking book. There's just something intuitive about that, even if it's not necessarily required by the lore. But the outcome on this particular place thematically is that you have to run around the outside of the clock, which means that as you're going around and changing time, you're physically being tracked by the clock on its perimeter, and it's saying, hey, he went from this time to that time and looped around. So if a clock is following your progress, that means it's going around, like it's going forward or backwards by an entire cycle every time we go around here. So it is kind of like you're physically turning back time. It's a little confusing in that we seem to go to... We're somehow cycling between 3 times. So you would think that those 3 times would take place in a chronological order of this one happens, then this one happens, then that one happens, then you go back to the first one, which would imply 2 periods of going forward in time and 2 periods of going back in time, or vice versa. Whereas our manifestation of running around the clock is always the same direction, which doesn't quite match that idea. Unless it's somehow looping. But that's next level crazy, the idea that the entire planet regenerates itself in the exact same form after enough time passes. There was a Futurama episode of that. Spooky. There we go, so I'm inside the building. Let's open this door. Ta-da! Alright, so the obvious door is now open. What do I do in here? I don't know what I just did. Is this a rocket? Or an airship? It looks like a TARDIS in here, doesn't it? It totally looks like a TARDIS in here. Cool. I did a thing. Hopefully all the ladders are equally valid and go to the same place, because I don't know which one to pick. So I went with the center one. It totally looks like a TARDIS in there. Not that a TARDIS is necessarily the most fixed idea. Why? Okay. So I look up here and I get to look outside and I see the island as it was. Sure. Sure, but why? There's probably more reason than that. Are all of them just ladders that lead up to windows? Like a fuel meter or something? Are you still facing the same direction? Can't really look at it from here without leaving the island, I think. No, it's all rock on the inside. On the outside. You know what this reminds me of is the Prime Directive from Star Trek. Like, this looks like some Starfleet technology is in here, but on the outside it's disguised by being another generic rock structure. So nobody would ever suspect that it's got secret technology and it's actually a TARDIS or something. What do you do? 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 I don't understand what I'm doing inside this place. It's a very long climb. Okay. Yeah, they're just views. Completionism, right? Maybe one of them will have, I don't know, the ghost from It hiding up there. Okay. Well, if nothing else, these ladders are giving me a ample opportunity to take a drink. And that's always a good time. It closes the door like we're on a launching sequence. $372. Did I must have done something, right? I mean, a bunch of noise played, I guess. I guess I'll recon the island for a minute and see if anything has changed. And if I don't see anything, then I guess I'll leave and come back and see if it comes to the next chapter and maybe in Cloudland something has happened. Maybe that version of the island has something going on because I came here. I'm not sure what this has to do with going to the middle of the tree. There's supposed to be a maze that has a tree in the middle according to the documents. This definitely feels like a puzzle that has something in the middle, but this may not be the maze that has the tree. I'm kind of just scanning about for anything that looks like a change. Yep. Oh, I think it's just new chapter or bust. Let's see if the island has something going on with it in the cloud version. Which I think the same trick should work. If I go to the cloud version, then warp out, and then use my Relto book to press the weird page to teleport into the tower, that should get me inside. A very pretty room. Once again, nothing seems to have visibly changed around here. And this version of the tower didn't even have a, this version of the tower didn't even have a door in the back. Like, not even a crease. We very much need the trick again. I'm just wondering what the payoff of all this is gonna be. Like, what is the context for what I'm doing and why? Because right now I'm just retracing the steps of some guy who had a few ages that he owned and claimed to be a prophet and a time traveler. 366. These have to be like mandatory or something, right? I have not been recording them all as I go, but this one takes a little work to get to, so let's just try it down. And I might have to do the rounds and collect the other ones. I don't know. Like, maybe you need them all collectively. That'll create some work for me if that, oh, whoa. If it turns out that way. Like, yeah, maybe I do need to get every single one of them at a time. This may not show me anything. It glitches out here and there. Yeah, that's where the door was. It's just gone now. As are all the controls for some reason. Does going up these serve a purpose besides just looking at a window? How do you access the ladder that doesn't touch the ground?